afternoon, everybody. Since our last meeting, we lost a very dear person in the community. Our Citizen of the Year last year, Joni Davis, as many of you know, who most of us thought the world of, if not all of us. And we was hum to everybody, and she will be deeply missed. So I'd like to take a moment of silence for her. And if anybody else in the crowd has anybody else that we should recognize, please mention their name also right now. Thank you. Also today, I saw on Facebook that Mr. Austin has completed quite a battery of courses to make him even more astute than he already is in the realm of fighting fires. I don't want to put you on the spot, Joe, but you want to give us a couple of insights into that? Or?
It was the Fire Officer 3 course it's the standard, one of the requirements for like career municipal chiefs that they require. It's not normal for volunteers to take it, but I worked my way up through the Fire Officer 1, Fire Officer 2 classes. This was the logical next step, so I did take the course. It was a very intense course. I learned a lot. It wasn't necessarily geared towards the volunteer world, but there was definitely stuff that I could bring back, so I plan on doing that. So.
You're good.
How long did it take y'all?
The class itself was 40 hours in class time, and then there was about 20 to 30 hours of outside of classroom work that was due all at the same time. Each activity is basically multi-layered, like you do one thing which leads to another thing, and there are a total of 10 class activities on top of the tests and quizzes and readings and all that stuff. So,
was it around here? Also?
I was in Syracuse. I drove to Syracuse for a week, took a week of vacation to do it, and went down. And
well, at least it wasn't on tour. So.
Yeah, it wasn't that far, so they would drive back and forth each day, which is good. So.
Okay. Very good. So today we have two public hearings. We have a public hearing on local law number 2 for short-term rental and zoning amendments, which we left open at the last meeting. I will take a motion to open, that remains open, so I don't need to take a motion. And the other one today is going to be public hearing on local law number 3 for bicycles, scooters, and similar devices. Okay? So at this point in time, I will take comments from the floor on either one of those.
We need a motion to open.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We need a motion to open the second one.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Adset?
I'll second.
Mr. Woodrick? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll open the hearing to anybody who wants to say anything. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, so I finally did get it. Thank you, Wendy, for sending these to me so I could actually get through them. I just have a couple of questions. I don't know if I'll call them concerns, just questions. Maybe you're looking for clarification, making sure they were thought of. I got some for each of them. We'll start with the short-term rentals. So if I'm reading through the definitions, I read through all the zoning stuff. If I'm reading through the definitions correctly, comparing bed and breakfast versus short-term rental. If I'm reading it correctly, the main difference is food is provided at one of them for the most part. There's the bed and breakfast also requires you to live there, but however you can live there if you're a short-term rental as well. So really it's the food thing, give or take. So I'm just putting that out there from the definition standpoint. So I guess what brings questions I'm bringing are, why are the short-term rentals being limited for the amount that we are allowing versus bed and breakfasts aren't limited for the amount that we have? And again, I do understand the concept behind not wanting people to necessarily buy property to just have it as a short-term rental, because then you're selling money property as opposed to having actual people living in this area. So I get that, but I think, so I'm using me as an example. If I had a house, well, we'll take my house for example. I have a couple rooms extra. If I wanted to rent those out for a short term to a snowmobile or whatever, went through the process, got assigned, did the permitting or whatever, and I was approved as a short-term rental, but I'm number 41 on the list, I now can't do that. But if I were to offer breakfast and call it a bed and breakfast, I could do it no matter what number on the list I am. If I'm reading it, again, just looking at it, reading it from that point of view, I guess my question is there a way to, because I understand the concept of limiting, I think, was more for, so you don't end up with a bunch of houses that are not occupied by someone, which I get. So is there a way to maybe break it down further to limit the amount of short-term leases of non-owner occupied property as opposed to just all short-term leases? Because if you're, like for me, if I'm gonna do it as a short-term rental, I'm still living there, I'm gonna live there, I'm not gonna, it's not a type of thing where I'm doing a rental property from that standpoint. So I'm still meeting the, I live here, I have a stake here, which is what we wanna keep. But I'm limited by that number of 40, and I'm not saying we're gonna have 40, who knows? We may never have 40 that register, but if we did, I would be limited from that opportunity, but if I was running it as a bed and breakfast, I wouldn't be limited by that opportunity. So it's kind of where I'm getting at with that. So I'm just wondering from a standpoint of, yeah, I guess that, let me think, that covers, yeah, that's the main scenario I'm putting out there. The other scenario I'm putting out there, same concept, same story, I'm running it, I'm approved already, I'm on the list, whatever. I have a personal RV and camper that I use personally. According to the law, it states no RVs or campers can be on the property that's listed as a short-term rental. So even though I'm living there, I'm running as a short-term rental, I'm not allowed to keep my personal camper on site. According to this law, that's how it's written. Yes, I know there's the other law about RVs that allows me to have one on site.
But it says offered as a short-term rental.
No, it does not in the law. It specifically says, and I highlighted it because I wanted that, it says there shall be no recreational vehicles or campers located on the STR property, nor shall there be any overnight camping in tents or otherwise used in conjunction with STRs to provide additional sleeping areas.
As to provide additional sleeping areas, which means you're renting that.
Is that clear enough? I'm just putting it out there as a liability standpoint. Is it clear enough that that works?
Is anything ever clear?
I don't know, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
I think that was.
The way
Just so everyone knows, I'm not planning on doing this
We
either.
have-
I'm just reading it from a point of that I
John, we have an
read through
attorney
it.
in the room, he can answer that question.
So
Is anything
those are
ever
the
clear
two things that I would bring up. I'm just wondering,
They make their
the
living.
main thing I'm wondering is if we could somehow divide it up even more to a short-term rental with an owner occupied versus a not owner occupied. That way if I'm choosing to make some money extra, I'm not limited by that 40, and I don't have to provide food to make it a bed and breakfast type of thing. I can still rent out a room. I still have to go through the permitting, like it's not gonna take you out of the permitting process, I still have to do that, but being an owner occupied, I'm not going to be limited by a number of maybe someone who isn't owner occupied type thing. So just a thought, putting it out there, wondering if it was discussed, thought of. If,
I don't see why it couldn't be broke down like that. I mean, the whole intention of the limit was why we put the limit on.
Right.
We don't want to turn into old Ford.
right, and I agree that should be, that, I understand, like I said, that's what I'm saying, I understand
Right now,
where the
there's
limit
16,
came from.
there's 16 in the village right now. We put the limit at 40, I believe it was, right?
Yeah,
Right. So the whole intent was there that's, the limit is 40, but if we ever get there, which I don't foresee us getting there in the very far near future or whatever, but if we ever get there, we could adjust it, you know what I'm saying? It's not that we're trying to, we could adjust it, if it was feasible to adjust it, we could adjust it.
Right.
But to answer your question, I don't see why we couldn't look into that.
My big question is, the first thing you gotta do is get this all approved from your wife.
well, like I said, I'm not planning on doing this. I have no intention of renting out any part of my house. I just, as I was reading this, I was putting myself in that scenario. Like, I guess my question is, that as a person, because again, the definition of the bed and breakfast states that you serve lodging and food and that you live on the premise. Mm-hmm. So why would me living on the premise should then fall under a bed and breakfast, or even if I don't offer food, or it should be split up separately in the short-term rental thing, is what I'm trying to get at. Again, trying to save some people who might want to just make some extra dollars.
You're trying to protect people in the village.
Right, I'm trying to protect people in the village from being limited from someone who decides they want to buy 40 properties and make them short-term, and they've now taken up all 40 slots. Again, not saying it will happen, but now the village resident who's still living in their house can't do it because the 40 slots are already taken. Even though they're planning on living there and it's just part of their house they're renting out short-term. So.
Is there any way you could limit how many short-term rentals one entity could hold? That might solve your problem of some of the corporations coming in and buying up a whole bunch of properties. If they were limited to the number of short-term rentals, and then as opposed to somebody that's just looking to rent out their property for 1 week out of the year every year when they're on vacation, to have somebody stay at their house while they're on vacation type deal. Is that an option to consider? Or?
I guess it could be. I mean, everything's open right now, and I believe that we're going to keep this open until next month because.
So you've got the draft legislation. You're the legislative body. You can decide what fine tuning, if any, you want to make. What you've done though is you've already referred it out to the county for this 239M review, it's called. And you won't be able to hear back from the county. The earliest will be sometime, will probably be your next meeting, because as I understand that they meet tomorrow. So you're not going to do anything until you hear back from them to begin with. So if you desire, if the majority of you desire to make some adjustments to it, you certainly can. I mean, it's your legislation, your community.
Something to think about. Consider. For sure. That's all I ask. So, and then, all right, so onto the bike law. I had a chance to read that too. I read through it and I'm just trying to make sure I understand it correctly. This is basically saying all forms of bikes, which includes, I know the idea behind it was probably for the e-bikes, scooters, the motorized things that go pretty fast. But I also noticed that regular bicycles are included in this. So the idea is they're not to be on sidewalks, which I sort of get. I think back to like when I was a kid, I rode on sidewalks all day long, never had any issues. I think of my kids who ride their bike to their friend's house, do I necessarily want them riding on the road versus riding on a sidewalk? I think of, it's listed in here a couple of times as a low traffic residential street you're allowed to ride on. What is that classified as? Is Park Ave considered a low traffic, or because that's the most populated road in Lowville, is that high traffic so they shouldn't be riding on that? Like there's just a lot of.
So I have a question for you. So when the kids from your house start up from your house, there's no sidewalk.
Right, and there's no sidewalk. So I looked at this more from the point of view of trying to think of how, like, I get the e-bikes, I get the scooters, they're motorized, they go faster. I'm wondering if we should be only addressing those as opposed to the normal pedal bikes. I guess my question is, do we have data that shows that we've had issues increasing with those safety things? Or is it more the e-bike, scooters, the motorized stuff? I guess that's what I'm looking at. Because the other way I look at it, like, it says you can't, it says they're to be on the road if it's a busy road. I know it also says it doesn't apply to state roads and county roads. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going down Utica Boulevard, heading out to Walmart. We decide to walk there, the kids are riding the bike. Do they have to be in the road? Because it's not even, that's not considered a residential area, where it says it's only exempted in low traffic residential streets is what it's exempted as. Are they breaking the law by riding the bike on the sidewalk? I mean, it's just, I guess my question is, has any of that come up in these discussions as well? Like the liability stuff, if my kid's following this to a T and gets hit by a car, where does that fall into liability? Like, I guess that's what I'm getting at with this law. I feel like I understand, and again, I understand the purpose behind it, I understand what we were trying to address, but I'm wondering if we almost went too far by including pedal bikes as opposed to just doing the electronic motorized stuff, the stuff that will hurt someone if they whack into someone on the side of the road type of thing, so.
Well, state law prohibits operating pedal bikes on sidewalks to begin with.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, so this is basically an extension that makes it local.
Okay, well that's fine, then, yeah, so.
Do we have Daryl in this village right now? I think I personally have my own opinion, but I'm going to ask you from a police chief standpoint. I guess I'm going to say this. When it comes to e-bikes, we've got a problem even in this village on the roads with them. And I didn't know this, but the state law says that they're illegal on the road anyways if you're under 16. And then when we passed the sidewalk law, which already is with the state, technically, if you're 16, the only place, or under 16, the only place you can ride is on your own private property or somebody else's property. So people are going to need to understand that. And then if you catch somebody that's under 16, how do you handle the issue?
Well, you'd have to turn them over to a guardian or parent, or contact them and have them come with you. But I mean, as far as a problem, it's growing. It's not a huge issue right now. I mean, we have maybe a couple a week in the peak of summer, and that was last summer. I can probably see with gas prices and stuff, there's probably going to be more. I think you're going to see more this summer. It's not an out of control problem by any means, but.
And they're also, everybody has to wear a helmet, correct?
Mhm.
That's law.
Bicycle complaints? I can't remember the last one we had. Bicycle pedestrian complaint? Maybe one a year. We don't have a lot of them either, so. I see Joe's point though, 100%.
Based on the fact that the state law, I guess there's not much. I mean,
Basically
that's-
our law is kind of.
Just a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll leave those public hearings open. I'm sorry, Mr. Michael Strice.
On the bicycle and e-bikes and scooters, can't we just strike the bicycles out and let the bicycles be on the sidewalk? I don't want my grandkids or great-grandkids riding in the street and the road. And I ride a bicycle and I ride on the sidewalks in Lowville. Never ran over anybody. Never even had any close calls. And as you stated, you can't remember when there's been an incident between a bicycle. As a kid, we rode all over Lowville on bicycles. Can't we just drop that out of local law 3?
If we, I personally don't have a problem with it, but
State
how do
law-
we handle the state issue?
Well, the state law is the state law, one way or another. But as far as whether you want to add a layer locally, that's up to you as a board. If you decide to not include that with the e-bike scenario, you can delete it. You can.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
I read that.
I would think local law would override.
But if somebody wants to push it, they still have the state law to back it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
Then it becomes, who wants to be the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have an agreement that we would strike that portion? I'm sorry, Karen.
The bicycle and the scooter also?
No, just the
Just
bicycle.
the bicycle. Then there's an electric bike and electric scooter. Do we want to keep the like the kids that are on their little scooters that they work for their feet?
Manually operated.
Yeah, I think that falls under the same realm that Mr. Stretch talking about. I have a problem with electric bikes
Right.
because,
Absolutely.
and I think that falls under an electric
Well,
vehicle.
there's a bike and scooter, and then there's an electric bike and electric scooter.
Just a regular scooter.
Yeah, just a regular.
Yeah, regular scooter, I think should be fine.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Regular scooter
Right.
and a bicycle, pedal bicycle, yes. But anything electrically powered, should motorized.
Should be in the road.
I witnessed one last fall. Everybody knows where Mike Purvise's building is, where somebody came around there in that blind corner on an electric bike and almost hit a pedestrian. It was that close. And the electric bike was moving at a pretty good clip. I don't know how he made the corner and not hit the person. It was it was quite a scenario, but they are an issue in my eyes. Anyways, should we leave those public hearings open? The one's gonna stay open, and it sounds like another one. I'm thinking if we can strike that tonight, Mr. Burrows, and create the
Yeah.
bike law.
If a majority of the board is inclined to modify the draft legislation, you could. You can modify it any way you want. If it's anything more than a de minimis change, then you should keep the public hearing open to see if there'll be additional comments because of that change. But right now, I understand you're looking to make additions, deletions, changes to the e-bike, I'll call it the e-bike law, by removing the prohibition pertaining to manually operated scooters or bicycles, and leaving the rest of it
On sidewalks.
On sidewalks, yeah.
I'll take a motion for that amendment to this law, if anybody's so inclined.
Yeah, the motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Anybody opposed? We will change the modification, that's a unanimous decision. So we will strike that from the law, and then we'll leave the public hearing open, and my thought is we're probably gonna vote on this law tonight. The other one's gonna stay open up here.
Dan, before you move forward, I just need you real quick.
Yeah.
I actually just see one
I was trying to set the TV.
e-bike on the sidewalk.
13, and I was trying to.
Little bit too much, wasn't very big.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Be kind of maintenance.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Just public comment.
Gotcha, okay.
More than any 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, I don't get to watch them. I do watch them, because they're fun to watch.
It's not good budget. What I'm gonna bring up is the budget's already approved the way it is. So I just wanted to bring up, ask some questions about things.
You should ask. You should ask for it.
Just ask. Just ask.
We have one on
It won't be as bad as last year.
Okay.
I didn't go, I did last year.
Next, we have the public hearing, and I'll ask for a motion to open the public hearing on the budget.
I think you're gonna do that.
So moved. Second? All in favor? Opposed?
I didn't get it, I'm sorry.
Motion by Tim,
Chuck and then
Chuck and Tim.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, sorry.
Hopefully it's on a recording. So I'd like to start by commenting on this year's budget so that everybody understands. First, the key is gonna drop a dollar. So for anybody, this assessment went up less than $10,000, approximately 10 to 13,000, you're actually gonna see a reduction in your county tax. Or, excuse me, your village tax. So anybody, this assessment went up more than $13,000, all you gotta do is take 876 or whatever it is, 879 times 1,000, and that's gonna be your tax rate, versus last year it was like 979. So there will be, a lot of people are gonna see a decrease, some are gonna stay about the same, and some will see an increase. The assessed value in the village went up about 16%. We did a reeval. Houses in Lowville are selling, and I guess right now even though we've done it the last 2 years, we're down to 97% again already. But That's a far cry from some communities like Denmark that are 50% and what have you. And I think the village has to aggressively make sure that we stay on top of that so that there isn't a huge hammer all at once. So with that, I'll make that statement. And at this point in time, I will ask if there's any questions to open the floor. Mr. Defoe? Everybody's pointing at you, so.
Richard Defoe. I just had a few questions on the budget. The budget actually compared to last year I thought was done better. There wasn't a lot of stuff that I questioned this year into it. The first thing was under 1420A, the law and contractual. In 24, we basically did 77,000 in the budget. Last year you cut it to 60,000, and this year you added 58,000 on to 118,000. And Jim, Mr. Burrows, I think you do a good job. You really do, and I appreciate the fact when a question is asked, you put it out there in language that people sitting here can understand instead of legalese where none of us understand it. So I appreciate that, and nothing against you. It's just a dollar figure. Do you really think the village has got that many lawsuits or civil problems that we have to go that high?
In the last year, I'd like to answer it. In the last year, we've had a few issues that have come up that have driven the cost of having an attorney significantly. We put that figure in, but we're truly hoping, Mr. Defoe, and I'm trying to be very candid and honest here, but that figure may be a little high because we don't anticipate the issues we had this past year. But again, based on when I was a mayor in the 90s and early 2000s, society has changed, and what we used to have to do with Mr. Gibo, in heck, in my 3 months, I think I've had more happen, in my 13 months, have happened than I had in 8 years. So I've relied on him deeply, and even though that figure will scare people, what it has saved us, I believe, is paramount. And it's hard to put a dollar figure on that today, but we've had a couple of lawsuits against us within the village in the last year that we've had to rely on Mr. Burrows and Catherine Harrington's expertise very, very, very much. So that would be my answer to that. I don't know if anybody on the board wants to expound.
I can jump into the act. The last year, I represent towns and villages, and the last year here, there were a number of unusual matters that came up, litigation matters that you normally would never see. So my expectation, and I spoke with the board last month, I would imagine the legal fees would be quite a bit less than that, just because you're not going to run into those types of litigation matters day in, day out. They're rare. But I wouldn't expect that. But from a budgeting standpoint, budget what you want, but you'll be able to dictate it. But I would be shocked if you see anything even approximating that.
The last 2 months have been very, very quiet.
Yeah.
So, and let's hope it continues that way, but it's like snow removal. How do we know? I don't.
I had a question. Sorry, Mary.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I had a question on the buildings capital outlay section. There was nothing budgeted last year at all, and this year I see you put in $26,500. Is this going to be part of the improvements on the buildings here for the LED lights with the police building and?
Go ahead. No, I think unless I'm incorrect, Paul, on the building we're talking, we're going to replace one of the air conditioners on the top of the building, correct?
No, here.
No, here,
Here.
here, the air conditioner out here. So
Right.
both of them were put in,
Right.
I don't even know how many years ago, what did he say? Yes. So they failed in the past. The town is doing theirs. Theirs is either the same year or year newer than ours. So we decided that we're gonna get a better deal if we do both of them at the same time instead of getting in June, July, August and having it not work.
And the LED lights.
Yes, we've had kind of fire issues in the garage with the balusters.
And in the PD.
Yeah.
He said the grass.
Oh,
The next section I was looking at was the transportation section. And in that area, I had a question on, you made a nice cut on capital outlay for 38,000, but then you turned right around and did a capital outlay reserve for 100,000. So in essence, you actually had a $66,000 raise in that street section. And then moving down to permanent improvements in your capital outlay, you went from 120,000 to 200,000. So between the two of them, that's about 148,000 that you've allocated in there. And is this because we don't have CHIPS money or we don't have any grants this year?
We have chips money.
we have CHIPS money.
So I guess the question is, what are we looking at?
Well, we got to.
The streets are.
Is that part of maybe
trucks.
what we're doing here with Bostwick Street at the end?
No.
No?
No.
Part
Two
of the
trucks was explained to me.
trucks that are coming wasn't part of that,
Yes.
what he's referring to?
Yeah, I believe that's the 2 plow trucks that we're getting this year. I believe that's what.
We're replacing the
Is that for
05
the
and
two,
06.
is that the two trucks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 05 and 06 that we're replacing, and we anticipate selling those, so we hope to get some revenue back. I asked Paul this yesterday because I think we've got 6,000 put in for the revenue, and we're thinking we might be able to get 20 to 30,000 total. So that hopefully will offset that some, but again, who knows what we'll get for those dump trucks? They're 20, 25 years old, they're plow trucks. So, but the 2 plow trucks we're supposed to get delivery on those. One of them, have we already got delivery on one?
No, they're at Viking, the chassis are there at Viking right now. They are starting to work on them. Projected delivery date is sometime in September. And those will be plow trucks with sanders in the back. Typically now we have our 2 plow trucks that just plow the roads. And then we have a mini sander that comes behind them. Well, efficiently and economically, it's cheaper to go with plow trucks with sanders in the back. So that's what we did.
And moving down to the street lighting utilities, you made a nice cut there of 35,000. And is that because of the fact that we went into that program with the street lights? Is that where this cut comes from?
Yes.
Of course, now we gotta worry about power.
And let me see. Moving on. One last thing I wanted to bring up, and it's in the back part here, and that was on the sewer and water section, where I think I can find it what I've got here. There was a cut made on the drainage section. And I was wondering on that cut, well, there was one other one here. Sanitary sewers, the equipment and capital outlay went up 52,000. And I was wondering what that increase was so much in that area.
Well,
The two trucks
Two
are
trucks.
split out of the three
Out of-
funds.
2 trucks are split out of that, for the plow trucks. Yeah.
Three funds.
So we take the plow truck funding out of 3 different funds. The water, the sewer, and then general, correct?
Yes.
Is the majority of that for the new equipment up at the wells?
No,
No?
no, got nothing to do with that. Yeah. We took the drainage out because I don't have any plans of doing any major drainage upgrades. Just trying to keep it.
And the last thing that I was looking at was under the drainage section. And that section, you made a cut of 78,000 on the drainage section. Yet I know talking to people on Stewart Street and Rural Ave and on Trinity, there's still drainage problems. Is that something that with the storms we've had in the last 2 years?
So we takes more out of my section.
And
that I
it's
was gonna
hard,
talk.
for me to manage. I want more money in that line, but.
So, along with the village, the county, and the hospital, we're doing, we've got a lot of plans for hazard mitigation, which includes drainage, to slow down the water that's coming into the village. As far as doing like drainage on Rural Ave, myself and the previous mayor, Joe Beagle, we had talked about redoing that street, putting drainage in. Well, you're looking at somewhere close to probably $5 million, because if you're gonna do just drainage, or if you're gonna do drainage in there, the infrastructure's old. So you might as well do drainage, sewer, and storm sewer. So we've been trying to find grant money for it, but we're still.
With us cutting in the village as a county, because part of the problem was in the county area with it, are they doing any
Yes.
cuts there, or are
Yes.
they maintaining what they
They
have
are.
line items for?
We are. I just had a meeting yesterday with planning, Tim Hunt. We're moving closer to the spot where we can actually do something. There's a lot with grants and stuff. There's a lot of waiting time. FEMA, as you know, FEMA's not in full session because of the federal government. So that has slowed a lot of things down. But I foresee a lot of action happening either late this year or beginning of next fall, or beginning of next spring. There's a lot of good designs. Gymo's done a lot of work for us, so we actually know what our structures, our pipe sizes, what types of pipes we have in the ground, where the water flows. So Gymo's come up with a good plan. B&L has worked with the county and us, so we've got a lot of good ideas. It's just in that motion now where it's paperwork, it's FEMA, get funding for it. And I will tell you,
Grace Metzler has a plan to get.
Cassandra Buell and Grace Metzler with the county have been doing an awesome job. Grace is looking for grants left and right, and she's on the phone with FEMA and DISH all the time. So, and
There's some other smaller things, but those are the biggest things I was looking at. So, as the man says, thank you for the attention to this detail.
We're going to skip the the,
Missing anything?
at this point in time, the S&H Benefit Solutions, because it's a contractual issue, that we will be going into executive session with our health consultant via telemed later on this afternoon. At this time, I'll open the floor for public comment. Mr. Strike.
Yes, I got one other thing. The sign's missing from the end of East State Street that says no through truck traffic. It's gone. Totally gone. And it's up on the other end by Walmart, but it's not. Anybody got any idea where it went? Or?
You're very observant.
Somebody-
I didn't know it was missing.
So it's been missing for quite some time.
I apologize.
Somebody didn't like it, but
Did you know that, Paul? Did you know it?
Yes, because Larry had talked to me about it.
Oh, okay.
And I had said something to the county that I will follow up. I'm gonna put that sign back up.
is there any chance it could be moved up to where Bostrick Street intersects East State and through truck traffic this way?
I can look at it.
I mean, that's considered a state road now, I guess.
Yeah, I can look. I will look at it.
That's it, thanks.
Does anybody else?
I just have a quick, Paul, if you want to send a thanks to your guys. I've been working on cleaning up my property still, and it's always a lot in the spring, so they do a great job of getting it out of my front yard once I move it out there, so I really appreciate it. It makes it a lot easier to clean up because I can just move it out there and they take it. I make sure it's all 5 foot or under, so it's all legit, so.
Anybody else? At this point in time, we had a reorganizational meeting on 4/1/26, which you've all been provided the minutes. Take a motion to accept those minutes, if so moved.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor? Motion's carried. At this time, I will turn the floor over to Mr. Trillion for this month's expenses.
We have a general fund of $32,068.56. Water fund, $31,805.19. And sewer fund of $11,900.20. They're all audited. This is the first time Carrie's been in on it. She did a good job. And I'd like to make a motion to pay them.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Can I just add, it was really light because our meeting was so early, so that's the reason. Yeah.
You're a killjoy.
Sorry.
Unfinished
Might have been
business.
light, but there's a lot of objects.
Unfinished business, I think we can skip A. I think we beat that dog. Well, speaking of dog control contract, that's gonna have to stay under unfinished business because still things going on with the Humane Society. So I'm just waiting to see where that whole thing is going to turn. So I guess right now, no news is good news, and let's see what happens. Building contract, I have been on Mr. Mullins' case, and I'm going to talk with him again tomorrow because it's going to be hard to continue to pay bills without a contract. And I think I will discuss that with him, and if he doesn't want to, I thought Mr. Meyer is going to draw it up. If he doesn't, maybe we'll have Mr. Burrows draw it up, but it has to be done. And I hate to pick on Bob, but I think that's got to be taken care of. We have in front of us a weapon policy that I'd like for everybody to review, and if so, I'm assuming that would have to have a public hearing to be part of, or would it not?
It's not required of a public hearing. You certainly can have a public hearing if you'd like. It's up to the board. I should point out, Trustee Taylor, when I had the resolution, I didn't include you at that time, but I'll make sure all the updates are made reflective. But you remember the policy, in a nutshell, a couple of quick points with that policy. It doesn't address only firearms. It addresses dangerous weapons as defined in the penal law. And as we talked a month ago, if somebody comes into public property, an example with a samurai sword, that kind of makes you stop and take notice. So it's broader than that. And with it, it addresses the public, addresses public officials and public employees. Certainly the exceptions for our law enforcement officials and the court administration, they have unique latitude as well. But it's just a framework to be looking at, and it's just one policy among many policies that as a board you will adopt from time to time.
And discussing with the deputy mayor, so I thought that if there's no objections to this, we could adopt this as part of our policy and procedures manual. Unless somebody has some objections, I'd take a motion to
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Edson.
I'll second.
Mr. Trillian, all in favor?
Well, two quick things. One, if you're going to adopt it, it'd be a roll call vote. The second thing, one of the things that the board discussed was that, again, it impacts the public, and the public could be faced with discipline, one way or another, but it also affects public sector employees and officers. But I didn't know what your thought process might be as far as what type of discipline might be imposed. And so that's why it's got that fill in the blank. I do know that last month you made it clear that the policy, if somebody violates a policy, they will face discipline. Not that they may, but they will. But you didn't provide the details.
So my question is, can that be determined on a case-by-case basis, or does that need to be explicitly expressed in the policy?
Your policy. So if you want, you could say that they will face discipline, as to be determined on a case-by-case basis. It's not a law, it's just a policy. So you've got flexibility if that's where you'd like to go with it.
That's where I'd like to go with.
Me too.
I think that's best.
Does this have to be changed to will then?
Yeah, if you're inclined to make that change, I'll just update it and send it to you again.
So we've accepted it with that change, unless we need
Second,
who made the motion again?
I made the motion.
Tony and Chuck.
And Chuck seconded. And now we'll take a roll call vote, and I'll start with Carrie.
Yes.
Tony?
Aye.
Yes.
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 Okay.
I will.
Mr. Trillian has worked on a policy for surplus inventory, and that you should all have in your packet. And I've discussed it with him, and I think that it's a good policy. Is there any questions?
I'd like to just fine tune it if anybody, before we make it a policy, see if get anybody else's input on it.
I made one, and instead of the word should be, we changed it, shall be, procedure shall be followed. Instead of should be followed, it shall be followed, so that there isn't any question. And then after that, you've got your different scenarios that Charlie made out, and that was one suggestion I had.
But I would like, and you've already given it to me, I think we need it in writing, definition of sealed bid.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about that?
I gave you one.
Yep,
someplace.
Tim gave you one. So I think that needs to be added yet before we make it a policy.
You want to hold on to this for
Yeah.
another month?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to hold on to this for another month, and we're going to come up with a definition for that. Under new business, Mr. Austin has provided us with the annual report and the approval of officers. National Grid Agreement.
I need you to approve the officers.
Do we need to approve? Okay. Motion to approve the officers.
I make a motion.
I'll second. Well, we have two others against it. We'll move forward. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tony's
Can
absent.
I do all in favor of Tony's
Yeah,
not here?
I don't think he's gonna. The National Grid Agreement. I just got that.
So the National Grid agreement is just a temporary access road easement for when they come through and put their new lines in. Which we've already approved them to do it. We've actually received money from them. This is just extra money for the temporary access to the sewer plant to do their work.
You're okay with it?
Mhm.
Okay. A motion to accept, this has to be notarized too, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
they need to approve you to sign it.
Motion to approve you to sign the agreement with National Grid. Second. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed? I will sign it. You have the budget amendments.
Wait, you missed some. Go back up
Ooh,
one.
that's an important one. We have received an intermunicipal agreement from the county to handle the DRI. And Paul has been working very closely with Cassandra in the last week or two, and Grace Messler. So I'm going to have him explain the nuts and bolts of this because I think it's important because Cassandra was involved with the DRI when we had the committee, and she worked closely with Cheyenne Stereo, who's no longer with the county, and a bunch of us that were on the committee. It was co-chaired by, I can't think, Social Services, Cornell Extension, Ledoux?
Yes.
Michelle Ledoux.
Michelle Ledoux.
So, Paul, if you want to explain what went
Yeah,
on.
so we've already signed the paperwork with New York State for the beginning of the DRI projects. And that was our first step. Our second step was to have somebody administer it. My feeling, and I think it's Stan's feeling, the county was our best option because Grace and Cassandra have done this in the past. Obviously, they're vested here in the village. So this is an intermunicipal agreement to have the county administer it. So typically, talking with Jen Voss, who's from the New York State part of the DRI, she said typically the percentage to the minister of the project, the DRI project, is roughly anywhere between 10 to 20%. So talking with Cassandra and Grace, the county has agreed to do this with us, and I think if we look at the amount that it's going to cost us, it's actually a little less than 10%. The way the county is going to do it, they're going to keep track of their hours, the time that they put into the project, and that's how we're going to get billed. Hopefully we'll see something start this year.
So you have the resolution in front of you. I take a motion to accept this if so inclined.
You mean the agreement?
The agreement, yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we agree to that.
Carrie seconds, all in favor? Opposed?
I just want to say
Motion
that
carried.
we as the village don't have the time, the manpower, or the knowledge to do it, so I think we're better off having the county, like I said, even with the hazard mitigation, we worked so well together. It's, I think this is a great step forward.
Our county legislators here, Vince says, are you actually going to add somebody because of the workload? Has that been discussed at the county level?
There's this discussion to add another person to the planning department, yes. That has been approved already. We're in the process of looking for it. It'll be split between the county and the hospital and wherever needed, yes.
And I guess my thought is, when it comes to this effort, I've had a couple of discussions. I actually had one yesterday with Cassandra, or the day before, and I'm confident that she will lead the charge with Grace, and they will do a good job. I work close, I'm pleased with Cassandra. Now we'll do the budget amendments. Motion to accept the budget amendments that Clerk Snowden has provided us.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Trillian,
I'll second it.
Mr. Adsett, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We received the RACOG newsletter, April 2026, and I'm going to, at this point, move RACOG up from the to give their discussion.
Yes, so the next RACOG board meeting will be on May 28th. That'll be at the Castellan Fire Hall at 6 o'clock. At that meeting, we'll be looking to approve the Village of Black River joining the RACOG. We got a letter from them asking to join. And also we'll be talking about our strategic plan. So we should have a draft of the strategic plan for RACOG at that meeting to look at and potentially approve there at that meeting. We are currently looking at replacing maybe the RACOG Economic Visioning Summit with maybe an annual dinner potentially where we'll have presenters at that. That's what a lot of the other council of governments do, so there's been some talk of maybe adding something like that. So that'll be up for discussion also at RACOG. The student activity and outreach stuff, so we did have BOCES, Jamie Birchenoff, the principal down at the Howard D. Sackett Technical Center. She came to our last strategic plan meeting that we had at Jeb's for RACOG and discussed different opportunities there. We have the RACOG Youth Committee. They're going to actually have a student council starting next year, and so we can actually piggyback off from that and have them work on maybe projects for RACOG and that type of thing, get them involved that way. So I think what we're going to do is kind of drop the actual youth committee we have and instead piggyback and just go off from that student council that BOCES is going to have. So one of the things will be like the new resident packets. She thought that was a good idea for the students to work on something like that. So next year we'll be starting to partner with them for things like that. And they did give an update on the Maple Ridge Center and the JCC Extension building at that time. And then we also had the Civic Service Student Activity Program. So that we have 11 students that are going through that right now. Our field trip is going to be on May 21st. And we'll be going to Town of Lowville board meeting for the students to kind of take part there. And then we'll be going over to the county highway garage, then soils and water, and then the county courthouse. And in between, they get lunch at Jeb's, and that is sponsored by RACOG. RACOG pays for the lunches for the students. So that is coming up. And also, Lowville is sending 5 students in a chaperone to the local government conference down at Turning Stone for the commission. So the commission covers the registrations. They just need transportation down, so the school is sending them down for the day on April 21st to the conference. So they'll be sending them there, and Copenhagen has said that they would like to send students next year, so they're in line to maybe send students down next year. The other thing is just related to the strategic plan. One of the things that came up was how do we get other communities to be able to communicate with each other about needs, projects, issues. So the monthly report that I have right now is going to be changing probably for next month. So now communities can actually list any needs, issues, or projects they have, so other communities can see that. So now you can quickly look and see if there's ways to collaborate with each other, or if you have a need like a piece of equipment, you know, another community might say, hey, we got that piece of equipment, we can help you out. So that'll be changing. And then the last thing was just the commission has a new dashboard for their strategic plan. It's very graphic oriented, easy to view, user friendly, to kind of show that we're meeting our objectives in the strategic plan. That could also be utilized for comprehensive plans and changed around, so it's something that you could have on your website for that, but we also probably might be looking to use it for the strategic plan for RACOG. So when we get around, we'll have that on the website so we can kind of track our how we're meeting our objectives and goals and stuff on there. So I encourage you to check it out on the commission's website, and you can check that out. But that's what I got, unless you got any other questions. It'll be May 28th, 6 o'clock at the Castellan Fire Hall.
I don't have you on the agenda, but I'm assuming you got something you want to say.
Just that Rick Keller is back on site up at the well site, and he has, started again. He's got one well ready to test, and he's working on the second well. So soon we'll have a real update. We'll have some information.
Probably by next month, I would say.
Yep, should be by next month. That was all.
Village Attorney.
Nothing to report other than request we do an executive session to discuss a legal matter.
Okay. And we'll get to it again. Okay. The only thing I have is music in the park. And I'm going to tell you, just give me a second, the lineup that we now currently have for this summer. I say I'm going to tell you. There it is. We're still open. Well, no, I guess we're not. I guess on June 30th, tentatively, we're going to open up with Broken Rule. They're a band out of the Lowville area, town of Aurora. July the 7th, we're going to have Fritz Polka Band. July 14th, the American Idol singer out of Binghamton, Kevin Ludwig, who was here last year. July 21st, we take off for the fair. July 28th, Bill and Cassidy. Bill Burkhardt and Cassidy, I think it's Cassidy Road. August 4th, maybe you remember them from last year, Second Nature, they're a husband-wife duo. August 11th, Nelson Brothers, and August 18th, Rock Island. So, other than we may add a seventh one, or we may not. Other than that, our music in the park looks like it's going to go full swing. And even though we had a tragedy with Moose Knuckles, she is going to be the food vendor again this year, and I'm pleased to announce that. I texted her and thanked her, and she texted me back. Clerk Treasurer.
You also had a request from Katie Bakes to do your music in the park. I didn't know if you saw my email.
I don't see any issue with that. She's done it in the past.
Okay.
No, I didn't see the email.
Yeah, she did it last year.
And nobody has a problem with that. Yes, just let her know.
Okay. Reports in your packet, sorry.
Yep. Mr. Orr, Chief Orr.
Your monthly reports in your packet from our office as well. Not a lot going on. We're dealing with an issue with car 4 right now. That one of the new Durangos had an engine go down. So Paul and I were working with Empire trying to get that fixed as soon as possible. That puts us down a car. So our new hire, Officer Ganal, is officially on her own. She started last week, doing well. And the latest new hire, Marcus Alayo, is a little over a month in the police academy in Watertown, doing well. So that's all.
Mr. Dennis.
As the residents are aware, we are out sweeping streets again. Hopefully we can get those cleaned up quick. May 18th will be the last day of spring pickup for brush. The bunks at the sewer plant are open, so you're more than welcome to take your trees and your grass clippings and whatnot down there. After the 18th, we will basically pick up when we have free time, and it all depends on what we have for DPW projects. I'm not going to set a date when we go out there to pick stuff up. I think we've done that in the past, the last year or so. So if your debris is out there for more than a week, we'll get to it. We already talked about some of the hazard mitigation stuff that we are doing. Beginning of this week, we did some work up at Alan Tushak's farm, and I want to thank him for letting us come onto his property and do some work. We're trying to mitigate the water that goes down into the fairgrounds. Let's see. This year, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last month, but Was out with the paving contractor today. This year we will be milling and paving Rule Ave. We will mill and pave Waters Terrace. Hillcrest and Sunset will get a T&L course and then paved. And obviously we're gonna pave out here on East State Street. I'm talking with Jim and I did some research. It looks like we don't need a resolution to do that because the road is not changing at all. And I have a few things to go on surplus. You might want me to wait until you do your policy or not. I have a 2017, the oldest truck in our fleet, which is quite rusty, with a Fisher plow that's been used a lot. So I have that, and I just have some tires from the police department. I would say the 2017 with the plow on it, you're looking at maybe $5,000 to $8,000 max, because it's the truck's in rough shape.
Can you get me Paul, the gentleman from Constable?
Yes.
I want to talk with him.
Yep.
He's the auctioneer up in Constable. He doesn't charge the town anything. And then we'll have two options plus the option. Let's wait a minute.
That's fine.
I don't think that trust's gonna rush much more than a month.
No.
We'll skip capital.
And we've
future
got our
planning.
2020 F250 is in service. It is now the foreman's truck, and the foreman's brand new truck went to the maintenance, we'll call him the maintenance guy for the sewer and water plant. The reason I did that was that is a single cab long box, the new truck, and we typically put our fuel tanks on the back.
Personnel.
Just working on contract issues.
Finance. Liaisons, fire department, Tony.
You want me to go over all of this? They've been busy. We've got it all in our packet. I'm just gonna go through the first section. Total calls, 316, 31 structure fires, 4 vehicles, 13 outdoor fires, 71 motor vehicles incidences, 16 hazardous materials, 18 carbon monoxide, 51 utility wire incidences, 94 active alarms, 12 agency assists, and 6 pump outs, I'm assuming. So they've been busy. They've elected their new officers, and yeah, they're doing a great job.
Anything to add to that, John?
You know, up there, plans to do our chicken and biscuit dinner tonight. You can stop over there after the meeting if you want.
Is there gonna be any left?
I don't know, 5 to 7.
Free everything.
Unless they run out before that, which is always good.
And they have takeouts.
I think so.
How much do you know? Something wrong with me. Police department,
Just what Daryl said.
planning board.
We actually don't have any down for the police line.
Their meeting is at the end of the month.
Right there.
They have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Town. Tomorrow.
Municipal board didn't have a meeting.
The board didn't have the town tomorrow. County.
Nothing to report.
We have our legislator here. Is there anything he wants to say?
Wasn't nothing to report for the last meeting.
It's fun to have his brain. Recreation, I'm still waiting on a contract from the school. I'll try and, in the next few days, talk with Superintendent Dunkel. We just need something so that come June 1st we can release the funds that we have budgeted for them. So we've done RACOG. Now we will go back to we got 2 public hearings that we've got to close. The first one is on the bicycle, scooters, and similar devices with the subtraction of bicycles and non-electric scooters. I'll take a motion to put this into law.
We gotta close the public hearing first.
Close the public hearing first, yes, thank you.
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A motion to accept this resolution. And it'll be a roll call vote.
I thought you already made that,
That was to close the public hearing.
to remove bikes and scooters. You
Yeah,
already made that
right.
motion.
But now I want to make a motion to accept the resolution as it is now.
Okay.
No,
So,
you're saying.
yes, motion.
I'll make that motion.
Tim,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote.
No, sorry.
Carrie,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
myself, yes. Mr. Trillian?
Yes.
Mr. Woodrick?
Yes.
I'll update it and report it with you on file.
Wendy has to sign it, but I checked mine from all before. You're the clerk, you have to sign it. The other public hearing, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing on the 2026-2027 budget.
So moved.
By Mr. Woodrick.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. That doesn't need a roll call vote, correct? Okay. Other than that, I guess
I'm
we'll...
sorry, did you make a motion to close this? The budget?
Yes.
Okay.
And then a motion when the second was made, it's on the tape here, and unanimously approved. At this point in time, if there's no further business to present to the village.
Mayor, Wendy, do we have a resolution for the,
Yeah.
that we have to
This
go
one.
for the referral to the county planning board for the short-term rental?
So the board has been working the short-term rentals, and one of the steps obviously was referral to Lewis County Planning for 239M review to see whether there might be significant countywide issues. Just a housekeeping measure, that was a resolution that we prepared that authorizes it to go. It's
I
already
actually
there.
did the application already. and-
Motion to accept. Motion to accept the resolution. I will make the motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call vote. Yes for me, Mr. Trillian.
Yes.
Mr. Woodrick.
Yes.
Mr. Adsit.
Yes.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Have that back.
If there's nothing else to present for the board, I'll take a motion to adjourn and to go into executive session.
I'll make a
for
motion.
Contract negotiation.
And to discuss a legal matter.
To discuss the legal matter.
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second? All in favor?